everyone. Today's focus is going to be on loosening up or releasing the lower back. So, for example, if you have a little bit of soreness kind of right down in this area right here, that can be caused by a couple different things. One of the biggest things is actually if you have really tight psoas muscles or hip flexor muscles. There's actually a muscle called the psoas that runs right down from the inside of the groin all the way back and attaches right to the back here. And so sometimes if your hip flexors are really tight, it tends to pull on that lower back and tends to make that area pretty sore. So what we'll do today is work on a couple stretches for the psoas, but also just a couple low twists as well as some seated twists, just to work on getting that lower back area to feel a little bit more loosened up and released. So we're going to start first of all in a just a seated position. You're going to bring your feet kind of like butterfly style, just knees right out to the side. And we're just going to start with the basic just folding over just to kind of get settled in. So you're going to start with a flat back, and then you're just going to try to fold over to get your chest or head towards your legs. And it's really thinking about opening that space of your lower back open and start kind of breathing into that area. Just kind of feel it widen up, soften as you just kind of relax in here. And then what you're going to do is after about 30 seconds or so, after you kind of just settled in, go ahead and grab around your right ankle. And then basically you're going to stay flat. You're going to twist your elbow and your shoulder down to the ground as you peek up and look up over to the ceiling. So you're going to get a really good side twist. So grab onto the ankle and kind of pull it in towards you to help get into that twist just a little bit deeper. Driving the shoulder down. And then try to reach forward with your head. So find length between the crown of your head and your tailbone as you twist up to the ceiling. And then we'll come back to center and then grab the left ankle now. So driving the shoulder and the elbow towards the ground, twist up, look over your shoulder to the ceiling, and then reach the crown of your head forward to find length, all the way from the crown of your head to your tailbone. And really, again, use the grabbing of the ankles to twist yourself just a little bit deeper. And then we'll go ahead and release. So let's work into the psoas muscles just a little bit here. So you're actually going to come onto one knee. So we'll start with the right knee on the ground. So I'm just kind of in a kneeling position right now. Now I'm going to take the other knee behind me and grab the ankle and then start to kind of shift that leg back. So now most of my weight is on this front leg here. And I'm going to try to push the heel of my foot into my thigh. And while doing that, I'm going to try to elevate my hips and raise my hips as high as possible. Okay? So again, the way to get into that is starting on your knees. You're going to grab the ankle of one foot. You're going to bring that knee back, so you're going to have to shift your weight forward just a little bit. Now pull that foot into the back of your hips, and then try to elevate your whole hip. So just basically take your hips and imagine someone's like pulling up on them all at once, and you're going to feel a really good stretch right through the psoas. Another way to think about this is to tuck your tailbone under, as I think I've mentioned several times. So you're going to feel a really good stretch right here through the hip flexor. Again, breathing. So this is really good to do kind of like, at the end of the day, after a workout with a lot of squats, just to kind of get this a lot released. So we'll switch sides. So starting on your knees, so you're going to grab around the ankle, and you're going to slide that knee back, shifting your weight forward. So now you're on, most of your weight's in the front here, and you're going to pull that foot. So you want to grab the top of the foot, try to pull that foot into your hip as much as possible. And then lastly, you're going to raise your hips up. So did you see how my hips just kind of curled under, raised up tall? So it's like you have a couple hip points. You just kind of raise them to the ceiling as much as you can. If you're still down here on the ground, that's fine. You don't have to be like, waving up here. And that's going to, again, help to get a really good stretch right in the psoas. So keep driving the foot in towards the hip. As you raise the hips up off the ground, tuck that tailbone under. Squeeze the back butt too, whatever leg you're pulling in, you want to squeeze the butt. And that's going to help to deepen into that hip flexor into the psoas. Now we're going to do a couple more laying twists. So the way to get into this one is go ahead and start with butterfly legs again. And then let's shift the weight over to one side. So I'm going to go onto my right leg. So notice how I just shifted over onto this leg here. I'm going to tuck the other leg underneath, like I'm about to sit on the foot, but the foot's actually just next to my butt. I'm not actually sitting on it. And bring the arch of my foot to meet the knee here. So I've kind of got this angled leg formation here. And now what I'm going to do is twist over to the side. So my feet are pointing away in the direction I'm twisting. So we're just going to start with tented fingertips first. Stretch the chest up really tall. And then you can eventually start coming down to your hands. And I want you to feel the ribs on your side that's twisting away, kind of, detaching and coming away from your hips as much as possible as you come down. So start by coming down to your hands. And now what you're going to do is the arm that's farthest away from your legs, you're going to start to bend that and then reach this arm forward. So you're going to start reaching away from you as you start to move your chest towards the ground. And eventually this back arm here, you're going to eventually be down on your forearm. So you want to reach away and really think about, again, twisting that rib away from the hip, getting a little bit deeper into that stretch. So hopefully you'll get down on your forearm, get down with your forehead on the ground, and then you really want to keep those legs pinned to the ground as you're down here. So take a moment to just kind of settle down in this twist. And again, remembering to breathe. So whenever you're trying to kind of get that releasing of that, that tension, or kind of getting away of some soreness in the lower back, especially the spine area, you definitely want to do a lot of breathing. Some really big inhales, thinking about your breath going into that area of the lower back. And then as you exhale, think about everything just kind of softening and easing up. And then you can come back up by coming back to your forearms, onto your hands and tented fingertips. And then we'll switch to the other side. So you're going to go back to butterfly legs, and then we'll just shift our weight over onto the other side here. Tuck the leg back underneath, put the arch of the foot right against the knee, and then we'll twist over to the other side. So again, start tall on tented fingertips. You don't want to get down too deep into the twist just quite yet. So make sure that you're stretching tall and pull those ribs away from the hips. Getting a little bit more into the twist. Then you can start coming down to the hands. So starting to move your chest down a little bit closer to the ground, getting a little bit more into the twist with every little bit. And then the arm that's on the back, you're going to start bending that one as the arm that's forward is going to reach. And you're going to start reaching away from you until you get your chest or forehead close to the ground, or as best as you can. And really try to work, again, deeper into that stretch. So keep on twisting the ribs away from the hips. And breathe. Inhale. And then as you exhale, try to twist a little bit deeper. And then we'll come up. Right. And then if you want, you can finish with a seated fold with your feet right in front of you. So just having your feet right out in front. Go ahead and come down into a fold as best as you can. If you just need to grab your ankles, that's fine. And then what I'd like you to do is grab the side of your leg and then use this as leverage to help kind of twist your gaze into one direction. So you're going to twist over to the left. And again, really holding your thighs and your legs to help kind of guide you over to one side. And then coming back down the center, grab the other side of the thigh, and then use that to twist and look up to the ceiling. And really try to find some space between your abs and your thighs. You don't want them like smushed right against, but you want to kind of open that space up just a little bit. Really get some length in the spine. All right. So lower back, biggest thing is just really working on getting those hips opened up, doing a few little seated twists here and there. But the biggest thing is making sure that you're stretching out your psoas. A lot of the quad stretches that we did earlier, the couch stretch is really good. Any kind of stretch that allows you to elongate this area right here is going to help your hips in the long run and eventually where it attaches to your lower back.